Hi, this is Brianna Hansen, and this is my console application video for week 1. The directions, first one says to create a new Visual C# console app using .NET Framework and name it Console Application. So you can see I've got this named Console Application here, and it's in the .NET Framework. Number 2 is store 2 variables, your name and your location. I like to use methods, so I went along with the methods option that was suggested in the video. I've done classes before, but this week I just wanted to focus on methods again. So I have one method for the name options, that for the requirements, one for the date requirements, one for the laser app requirements, and then one for the exit. So let's go ahead and start the debugger to look at number 2. So we're just going to step into the name location method. And then right here is where I have the start of storing 2 variables, and I created the strings for name and location. Let's step over here. So this is where we have the prompt to enter your name on the read line for entering a person's name. And then the prompt for getting the location, and then the read line for that. Okay, and then I did the same thing I had in the video, where it had this little section here, even though it wasn't necessarily listed in the requirements as much. But so this has the right line. If I've never been to location, I bet it's nice, press any key to continue. So I did string interpolation on that one. I did do read key instead of read line because it says press any key to continue. And so if I did read key, then any key would work. So let's go ahead and show that one. So then here we have showing up on the console, press any key to continue. Okay, so that takes care of number 2, which is store 2 variables, your name and your location. For number 3, it says output 2 right line statements that display those 2 variables with proper labels. My name is, comma, I am from, using string interpolation. The requirements for this one were a little confusing. I'm not sure which way it was supposed to go. Because initially when I read it, it said to do 2 right line statements. So I was going to do my name is on one right line and do I am from on another right line. But in here, it shows it as 1 sentence. And then also on the video, it showed it as 1 sentence. And so I wasn't sure which way was the required way to go. So I went with what the video had because it shows it the same right here and in the video. But I do have multiple right line statements, and they do show the 2 variables. So I've got one right here with a right line for location, and then obviously the one that's next right here with my name is name, I am from, location. So there are 2 right line statements, and it does have the different variables in there. So I'm hoping this is the way that is required for grading. So we can go ahead and step through this one, see it on the console, press another key. So that takes care of all of the name ones. So then that takes us to the next section, which is the date output section. So for number 4, it says output the current date, but not the current time. So let's step into that method. So this method, here's number 4 right here, output the current date, but not the current time. And I chose, obviously, datetime.now, and then I did a right line that has today's date is, and then I did just the date without the time using string interpolation too on that. We can go see that in the console. Today's date is September 19th, 2020. Press any key to continue. I'm going to press a different key this time. Okay, so number 5 says output the number of days until Christmas this year, and of course apply an appropriate label to that output. Okay, so I did about the day of year for what today is for my first thing. And then the next line, I went and made a date for Christmas of this year. So that variable has Christmas in it. And then I went and figured out what the day of Christmas was for the number, for the day of year. So, and got that number. And then I just did a simple math problem with the days until Christmas variable. I just took the day of Christmas and I subtracted out whatever day of the year is, and that's how many days are left until the day of Christmas. So, and then I used a right line statement with string interpolation to put there are however many days until Christmas. We can see that in the console. There are 97 days until Christmas. Okay, so that takes care of all the date requirements, which takes us to the next one, which is number 6. So number 6 says, add the program example from section 2.1 in the C# programming yellow book by Rob Miles. So this is, I just went through and did like it was in the video for the Glazer app. Let's step into that though. So, and then for 7.1, it says to provide appropriate text labels for dimensional input. So I did those right here. With the please enter the height or width and please enter the height. So let's go ahead and run that section through the debuggers. We've got please enter the width with a read line. And then we've got please enter the height with the read line. Okay, and then converts it to doubles, and then I opted again to make more methods. And so I did the calculate the length and the area in methods as well. So let's go ahead and step into those. So here is the calculating the length and returning that result. And then going on to calculating the area and returning that result with the variables that were calculated. Okay, so let's make sure we got all the items for number 7 now. Provide appropriate text labels when requesting dimensional input. I got that. Cause the program to pause in the console so that the application does not automatically terminate when launched in the Visual Studio Run Debugger tool. Okay. So let's keep running through this one then. So then I've got the right line that shows the string interpolation, the length of the wood needed, and the length or the amount of glass needed. So, and then this is where we get to 7.2. Let's step into that one where it says cause the program to pause so it does not automatically terminate. So it has press any key to exit. So again, I did a read key like suggested in the directions, so that any key could be pushed to before we can get out of the program. So here we are, we're at the end, press any key to exit, pressed key, and then we're all done at the end of our program. And it's closed the console, so since I pressed the key. And then requirement number 8 is push your completed solution to the GitHub repository. So here's my GitHub repository. And it's got the console application folder, git attributes, git ignore, readme. So let's go click on that. So we've got the console application solution, and then the folder for properties, and then the app config console application program files. So that's obviously all pushed out to GitHub. And obviously for number 9, it's been submitted to the repository. So just to kind of run through the debugger once, but to run through this without doing the debugger, just run through it live here. Oh, I got to pull that off here. There we go. Now let's try running through it live. Okay, scanning. We've got where we're from. My name is Bree Hansen. I'm from Idaho. We got today's date. We have Christmas, days until Christmas. We've got our width, our height, and our calculations, and then we press any key and it exits. So it's all done. Thanks.